So I had this thought to just do my own little show. I'm gonna run through about 5 things that I searched on Google for a month and let you know what I found out. Jason is our household gardener. I do not have a green thumb, but Jason is really, really good at it. This past summer, he planted a bunch of stuff. The tomatoes went wild. We have about 8, I think, heirloom tomato plants that they're higher than our fence. Like, they have just exploded. One day, I counted 60 tomatoes. So, of course, time goes by, all of those tomatoes are done at the same time. So we're like, what do we do with this? So Jason decides to make some pizza sauce because we like to make pizzas around here. The first step of the pizza sauce is to use peeled tomatoes. So he asked me, how do I peel a tomato? And I was like, I don't know. So I Googled it. I searched for how to peel fresh tomatoes. According to the article that I found, they basically said to make an X on the bottom of each tomato, then throw them into a pot of boiling water for no more than 1 minute. Take them out with a slotted spoon, quickly put them in a bowl of ice water, and then take them back out and peel back the skin with a knife. So Jason tried this, and lo and behold, it worked like a charm. So now you know how to peel fresh tomatoes. I remember couple weeks ago reading the headline, there's a new Jeopardy contestant on a historic winning streak. And while I was scrolling my newsfeed, I've heard and seen people use both a and an in front of the word historic. And so I wondered which one is actually grammatically correct. So I Googled it. And here's what I found. I'm just going to read it directly. An is the form of an indefinite article, whatever that is used before a spoken vowel sound. It doesn't matter how the written word in question is actually spelled. So we say an honor, an hour, or an heir, for example, because the initial letter H in all of those words is not actually pronounced. By contrast, we say a hare or a horse because in these cases the H is pronounced. So in other words, if you pronounce the H sound, then you use a. And if you don't, then you use an. Okay, it's a historic novel. Huh, okay, great. Now I know. So on Halloween, I decided that I wanted to dress up as Wednesday Addams. Actually, Beverly did this a few years back, and I thought it was super cute, and so I decided to do it myself. And I think Alice is going to dress as a cat, so I was thinking that maybe our costumes could be related, which I always think is cute and kind of cheesy, but also cute. So I assume that the Addams family has a cat, because of course they have a black cat, right? But to be accurate, I wanted to Google it. And actually, this was an image search because I felt like that would just be a lot quicker to my answer. Unfortunately, it looks like the Addams family, in fact, does not have a pet cat. They have like dogs and birds and bears and alligators and even a lion, but no cat. Bummer. If you've been on Twitter or Instagram lately, you may have come across posts or memes with sk sk sk. I assume that's how it's pronounced. It's SKSKSK, which according to a previous Google search I did means essentially anything and nothing. It's like John, right? It's like when people use John. And the people who use this term are apparently referred to as VSCO girls, all capitals, VSCO girls. And so, my God, I feel very old, but I had to know what a VSCO girl was. So I searched. So as it turns out, the term VSCO comes from an app that kind of is a little bit like Instagram, except that it doesn't have a like button. So it's kind of free-spirited and easygoing, and it's called VSCO. And so that app actually has some filters in it, some like hazy, dreamy, pastel-y filters. And this is so bizarre, but girls started taking inspiration from the filters in that app and the fact that the app was kind of free-spirited, and started actually dressing like that. So the VSCO girl is basically a girl who wears like really baggy shirts and big sweatshirts and scrunchies on the wrist and sandals with socks. I mean, this isn't even a joke, you guys. It's strange. It's not uncute, but it's just very weird. Let's get into some real life stuff. We all have things that are kind of going on in our lives that can feel overwhelming or frustrating, or cause us anxiety. One way to work through these kind of stressful situations or these anxieties is to simply live life and make decisions based on core values. So I Googled. I don't know what my core values are. So it seemed honestly like a huge undertaking, to decide what is most important in my entire life. What I found was a couple of writing activities that help you dial in what's really most important to you. The first is that you think of a moment in your life, something that you'd consider a peak experience, and you write down what happened, how you felt, and what details about that made you feel that way, right? So for this one, I thought about when Jason and I went to Lanikai Beach in Hawaii. It was the perfect beach. It's my favorite place in the whole world. I know Disneyland is supposed to be, but Lanikai Beach right now really is. So when I was there, I felt relaxed and comfortable. I felt pretty. I felt exhilarated because we were snorkeling with fish, which are really freaky. But what I ended up deducing from this writing experience that I did was that I value leisure, good self-esteem, and new experiences. So I got 3 of them just from that one little activity. Second part is to think of a situation where you got angry, frustrated, or upset, and then you answer all the same questions. What the situation was, why it made you upset, and then details about what exactly made you upset about that. So I found the idea of figuring out my core values really overwhelming, but these 2 little like simple activities really helped me break down like what is really important to me and why those things are important. I can use those core values, and if a decision I'm making doesn't follow along with those core values, then it's not the right decision. I hope that this was helpful for you. It was really helpful for me. Anyway, that was 5 Google searches. Thank you so much for supporting Ears Up Podcast. We love you so much. Patreon supporters, you guys are awesome. Happy Googling.